switching gears, Stacey. I know back in the past, we did an interview one time and it made some waves when you were talking about Jaron Ennis, and you said what's so great about Boots, and all that stuff. And he just had a great performance against Xander Zayas where he stopped him. He's now a two-time unified champion, four-division champion overall. What did you think about the Jaron Ennis Xander Zayas fights, and have you moved off of your past criticisms of Jaron Ennis?
Okay, my criticism. I mean, we just used the term criticism.
Okay.
But what I was pointing out was the mistakes that he make in the ring, and the things that he does in the ring. I call it. I guess you would say I criticize that, because what I'm doing is I'm looking at my 154 pound. I'm looking at my fighter, and I got to figure out. Alex Bray. I got to figure out how to beat Boots, and I see all these mistakes that Boots is making. So I got to capitalize on them now.
Correct.
Let's get back to Xander's, the last fight. The last fight was simple. It was a very simple. You don't have to sit there and say, well, what went wrong? Or why didn't he do this? It was very simple. The kid went in there. He had a fight plan. I hope that wasn't the fight plan that he had, to go in there and stand there and trade with this kid. He stood there and he traded. When he was boxing, you have to box him a little bit. You have to fight him some. But you can't stand right there toe to toe, especially when you get hit. You stand there and you trying to catch punches and roll punches, and a lot of these shots are landing. You got to have sense enough to say, hey, look, let me step around or let me pull back. Now, I don't know if the corner was hollering and telling him this. I don't know. But you stayed in the pocket too long. You can stay in the pocket too long. So to me, it was a strategy. I don't know if it was in the corner, but somehow he was fighting the wrong fight. He was fighting for a minute the right fight, and then he would stay there. But he would need to get his shots off and get out and box more. And when he boxed more, you saw that he could hit Boots. He can hit him with right hands. He can hit him with left hooks.
Correct.
He can hit him with body shots.
He even had him hurt in the third round.
It had him hurt bad. But what do you want to do? He want to stay there, and he want to exchange, and he want to trade, which makes a very exciting fight. But you're in the trenches with a guy, and that's where he wanted you at. You couldn't beat him in the trenches, although you was hurting him. But you got to be smart. Now, if Boots was fighting a kid like I would say, if he was fighting Terrence Crawford, no, I got to get in my shots off. I got to get out of here, and I got to box. I got to think. So that's a different type of fighter. So I don't fault the kid. I think that a lot of people say, well, he took the fight a little soon, and then when you're 23 years old, let me tell you what a trainer told me once.
Go ahead.
When you're 23 years old, whether you're in boxing or whatever it is, you're supposed to be able to piss over a bus. But you're supposed to be at your peak, your strength. A lot of folks at 28, 29, at 23 years old, a man is super strong. So we can't go by the age. Like I'm telling you, it has something to do with the strategy of the fight. If you notice when he will box, he get hit in it. But when he stand there and trade and try to outbang him and all that, he got in trouble.
Correct.
That was
so very, very, very foolish fight plan, honestly, in retrospect. But so you mentioned Terrence Crawford with Jaron Ennis. I know that Crawford, he's retired, even though I don't really consider him retired because it hasn't been a full year yet. But did you see anything in that Jaron Ennis fight that would make you say, you know what, he's evolved? I now think he's as good as a guy like Terrence Crawford, because a lot of people put him in that caliber.
No, he's not. He's not as good as Terrence Crawford. Listen, it's a thing called you come along at the right time. Okay, Crawford come along at the right time. Who's to come along at the right time? It's all about timing. These guys, these Class B and C fighters, they're going to always look superior over those guys because they come along at the right time. They don't have the competition. Crawford didn't have the competition until he stepped up in there with Canelo.
Yeah.
He stepped in with Canelo, okay? But yet still him fighting Canelo. Let me explain something to you. Canelo is a great fighter. Canelo's a strong fighter. He's a good puncher. But Canelo ain't no Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
He ain't no Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay? He ain't no Tommy Hearns. He ain't no Marvin Hagler. He ain't no Sugar Ray Robinson. Now, you want me to continue to go ahead on? He ain't no Carlos Palomino. Okay? He ain't no. Listen, we can go on and on.
James Toney.
James Toney, but it's
Yeah.
the timing. The timing is right to make him look superior. But there's always going to be somebody coming, and I think I got the one that's coming. If Boots stay in that, if he stay in that at that 154 pounds, which I don't think he will. I think by the time we get there a year and a half, or maybe close to 2 years, and I think he'll be gone. But I got the right guy for him that's coming. So, and that's Alex Bray. So,
Alex Bray.
so there's always somebody coming. And one thing you got to remember, I don't care how good you are or what you can do, but there's always somebody going to beat you. They're going to figure you out. They got your number. Muhammad Ali, as great as he was, Kenan Norton had his number. Even Sugar Ray Robinson. Why did Jake LaMotta have his number? You got to understand one thing. There's always going to be somebody. And if you hang around and catch the guys that they beat, then you got to move on. They got to come on in there. That's just all it is to it. So Boots will be there.
Yeah.
But somebody going to get Boots. Don't worry about Boots. Boots going to get his. I'm going to bring Boots his. Ain't nobody about that. Yeah, we keep going like we're going. When I look through the 154 pounds, okay, give me another year and a half. Give me another year and a half, 6, 7 fights. Look, and Boots can come on, Boots. And come on the rest of them. Yeah.
You've been going on about Alex. I remember when Boots was down at like 147. You've been going on about Alex Bray since 2024 when I was down there and I interviewed you about him. He's now 10 in the WBA, which is one of the belts that Boots currently holds. So how is Alex Bray's development, Stacey, and how far do you think he is from a world title?
Well, I think he got a ways to go. He's about 4 or 5 fights from a world title. We're looking at about 18 months.
Okay.
And it all depends. So now it all depends on who he's fighting. Now to big Boots, we're looking at about, I would say, 18 months, maybe 5 or 6 fights, 5 or 6 more fights, and he would definitely be ready. Now you got some of these other guys down there at 154 pounds, and they're doing a lot of talking. They're doing a lot of talking. Now I would take Xander. Now a guy like Xander, if he fight the same kind of fight that he fought against him, I'll take Alex Bray and knock him out. I could pick Alex and knock him out because Alex, you got to understand one thing. Alex is 6'3".
Yep.
He got long reach. He had long reach, and he can box, and he got speed, and he can punch, and he got good eyes and good reflexes. And he ain't even 19 years old. So you got to understand what you got here. So you got a real young man. So his man strength ain't came yet. So you give 18 more months. His man strength gonna start coming in. And I think I think that he's gonna dominate and control the division. And he doesn't have a problem making weight.
No, for sure. Does he have anything lined up? Because I don't see anything here about
he's fighting. He's fighting in Orlando. He's fighting in Orlando. I think it's the 24th of next month.
Okay.
He's fighting in Orlando. Yeah, we're keeping him busy.
That's good. No, that's good. He's 11-0 right now. 4 or 5 more fights will be 15, 16-0. So
but he live. You have to understand. He and his brother both. They live boxing. They do this every day. I mean, it's every day. That's no problem. They run. They ain't smoking. They ain't drinking. They ain't staying out all night. They ain't chasing women. They're not doing all this. It was brought up. Their father brought them up in the program. So that boxing been in their family for years.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, they had a couple of relatives to go to the Olympics. One of them I know, but I don't forget his name. But anyway, they've been there, so they got the discipline. And Alex Bray is really hungry, and that's all he lacks is boxing. He doesn't talk much. It doesn't carry on conversation. He's not afraid. He loved to get in there. He loved to hurt, and he got power. You have to understand now. He got that Tommy Hearns power. He's sitting down on the right hands and coming down through there. You're gonna have a problem, Boots. You're gonna have a problem. I saw them right hands. I saw the right hands Zayas was hitting you with. You wobbling and ducking and going on. If Alex Bray hit you 18 months from now, you coming up out of there, Boots. You got to come up out of there. Young man can punch.
So that's it. So Alex Bray is the guy that's going to beat Jaron Ennis. He's the guy to beat Jaron Ennis at 54.
Yeah, knock him out. Not just beat him, you got to stop him.
Exclamation point.
That's right, exclamation point. Now you know you don't want the fight. When you stop, you can't leave it in the hands of the judge because people start crying, oh, they took the fight from me. Well, now you gave it to him. You should have knocked him out.